What's up, everybody? It's Eli here from TreeFall Studios. So today's video was originally going to be about Annihilation, which is the next game that we are releasing on the PlayStation 4, and it's almost done. The last week's video was about that. It showed a little bit about the new features and all that stuff. There's a new video going to be coming for that soon, all about the multiplayer and like showing footage of the multiplayer and all that stuff. I actually had some friends come over and test the multiplayer today, so I've had at least 4 different people test out the multiplayer so far and getting really positive feedback. It's been a lot of fun, a blast. I've been changing things based on how it actually plays out with real people and real players, which is a breath of fresh air for a game developer. And I forgot to record the system footage once they had already left. I realized that it hadn't been recorded and I accidentally closed it out. So that video will be coming in a later time. So for today's video, instead, we're going to be talking about Maze, which is a huge staple for TreeFall Studios and TreeFall fans. It's one of our most successful quote-unquote franchises, although we haven't actually released a sequel yet. We have a couple in development or whatever, but it's one of our most successful titles to launch, and a lot of our fans really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of our fan base came from some of the people who originally played Maze, and we are remastering it for the PlayStation 4 with brand new features, brand new mazes, all sorts of goodness, changing the graphics. Not a whole lot of craziness going on, additional stuff, but we'll talk about some of that in the future vlogs that we do. But today we're going to take a look at World 2. So we updated previously World 1, just a quick video. I think it was like 7 minutes, and we showed some of the new graphic changes, showing you what was going on inside the engine for some of the levels in World 1. I think today I'll take a look at some of the stuff that we didn't see from that, and take a look at some of the stuff I teased on Twitter for World 2, like environment reflections and what some of those levels look like with a little bit of polish. It's not a whole lot of change. They mostly look still a bit similar, but let's take a look at what has been changed and get right on it. So if you're new to our YouTube channel, I created a video game called Pitterpot and a video game called The Perplexing Orb, and both of those are available right now on the PlayStation 4. If I talk about all sorts of things about game development, if that sounds cool to you, if you want to catch up with what we're doing with our games, if you want to learn about what I do with game development and how I got started in game development, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. So with that said, let's get started.
Okay, I just briefly want to show some of the changes still that I haven't shown in World 1. And you can see that I fixed the textures here. That's something I was working on last update video. But I just wanted to show off a quick detail of the new bump map on the tombstone, so the text is now 3D. So here is a look at Hub World 2. This is pretty cool. I mean, I still got a lot to go. You can still see the Wii U sign there with the Nintendo symbols. But I briefly showed this off on Twitter, and I think it's pretty cool. So this is the original look that I wanted it to have this marble, like, glass reflection type look for this world, and now I can finally pull it off. So I'm walking around here so you can check out the reflections in the glass, and yeah, I just think it looks so much better, way more polished than it did in the original version. So those 2 mazes are what we're going to look at next. We're going to look at the tribal maze with the tikis, and also Maze 9, the checkerboard mazes. So this is just one of my favorite themes for Maze, this checkerboard, classic green and brown look. I just wanted to give you guys a quick peek at what it was looking like now in the new version. If you remember from the Wii U, the lighting just looks so much better in this one. I also edited the textures. You can see it's got that 3D feel in the checkerboard. It also looks a bit rough now, like you can actually, you know, like it's got some texture to it, and you could scratch your hands on it. I added a new bump map to the material, which it didn't have in the Wii U version. This looks much better. You can even see the light cascading over the checkers a little bit. Overall, this is just one of my favorite themes, and this theme was one of the few that got to be carried over to Maze Pedestal of Trials as well. So I just really like how it's turning out so far in the PlayStation version, and this is how it will look on the PC too. So yeah, I just wanted to walk around a little bit and show you guys different views of the level and what it looked like. So now let's move on to the tribal maze. So this is just such a cool maze. I really like it. I have forgotten about it mostly until I watched some of our fans who did a stream of Maze a couple weeks ago, and they were really talking about how they really like this maze, and I was like, sweet man, I can't wait to go back and check this one out. As you can see here, I went ahead and edited the original texture, which again, you know, on the Wii U, this did not have a bump map, and you can see now some of the wood chips have that little bit of 3D look to it, and the light cascades over this material so much better than it used to. And I'm just walking around here doing some different things, just taking a look at the tikis. Those are so cool looking. I really enjoyed making those and doing their little mouth animation or whatever. So I'm just going to wander through the maze for just a little bit while I talk about the last little bit of it. This one is really tough. I get lost here actually. You can get stuck in the long corridors, and then once you get through like a midway point of the maze, then there's like all these cascading corridors one after another that you just don't know which one to take, and I actually don't walk down them in the video, but I show you at the very end. It's just a really cool design, and like the looping triangle design was really fun to make. Right there you can see an example of the updated texture. So I think overall the lighting and stuff looks much better in this. As you can see though, the game still has a long way to go. The UI still is non-existent. I have a lot left to do in World 2. For the next maze update video, I'll be tackling the glass maze. I'm going to be trying to make that a little bit better. I'm going to be working on the domino maze, which is also in this world. And then I'm going to be finishing up some of the others. I need to fix that electric maze, the one that flashes. I got to try to figure out a good way to get that to still have that cool original vibe, but also not give people seizures. So that's what we're going to be doing in next week's episode of Maze. I hope you're enjoying checking out this game again. As for now, that's it. Ha! Just kidding. All right, we're going to show one more maze as I thank our patrons for all their support on Patreon. So before we go on any video, I gotta give, or at least most of the videos, gotta give a huge shout out to all of the people who support us on Patreon. It really helps us do what we do. Every little bit helps, and the people who are really supporting us are people who really enjoy our content, and it's really great to see them getting involved in a little bit of the development themselves. So we got to give a special shout out to Logan Lintine, Carmen Red, and LV Cato. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. Just a little last brief look as you're seeing me run around this maze. This took a lot of work. This texture was really messed up, and I really had to work hard to get it to look this good. This was one of the uglier looking mazes from the very first game, and now I've finally got a little bit of that Rocky Halls look that I wanted to get originally. Like, look at that wall right there with that 3D and the bit. It just looks great. It still needs a little work, but I think for now it's probably a keeper. So if you made it to the end of this video, please leave a comment down below that says, "A maze is amazing in mesmerizing ways." Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share it with a friend. We'll see you next time.